Now at 7 on WKYT this morning, 1 year later, a Nelson County mother of 5 is still missing. This morning, we're looking at the latest details in the case.
And a judge has thrown out the lawsuit Governor Matt Bevin's administration filed against a Planned Parenthood clinic in Louisville. We'll have the details on the ruling coming up.
And in one central Kentucky county, police plan to keep a close eye on drivers this holiday weekend. That and much, much more ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Happy weekend to you. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
And I'm Sean Moody. The holiday weekend is here. It looks all right today.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking about Monday night and the fireworks show. Mike, how's the weekend looking?
Well, the weekend as a whole is going to look rather wet once everything is all said and done. Today, though, looking like the best day of the bunch. And as far as the feel, it feels great. The upper 50s and lower 60s across the board right now. A few southeastern spots a little bit warmer thanks to some light cloud cover, but nonetheless much cooler this morning than where we have been lately. Mild air is dominating the bluegrass right now, pretty much sitting right on top of the Midwest. But if we look to the west itself, that's where the active weather is. Right now, flash flooding over the Kansas area as heavy rain continues to work its way eastward, working into parts of Missouri and pushing eastward toward Kentucky. That will get here as we head into Sunday evening and into Monday as we are tracking what looks to be a lot of rainfall in a short period of time. That could lead to some flash flooding, and as far as timing goes, it's right into the holiday on Monday. Coming up, I'll take you through the next few days and show you hour by hour when the rain is set to arrive and the severe threat within those thunderstorms.
All right, Mike, thank you. Tomorrow is a sad anniversary for a Nelson County family. It marks the day 1 year ago that Crystal Rogers disappeared.
There's still no sign of the Nelson County mother, but her family is not giving up hope. WKYT's Mike Byer joins us from the live desk this morning with the latest. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Michelle. Emotional, hectic, and hard. That's how family and friends of Crystal Rogers described the past year. Police found Rogers' car along the Bluegrass Parkway near Bardstown. The Nelson County Sheriff now says he does not expect to find Rogers alive. Rogers' boyfriend, Brooks Houck, has been named a suspect in the case, but he has not been charged. Crystal Rogers' mother says the family has a sign on the Bluegrass Parkway. Her mom hopes someone will see the sign and remember some new details about the case.
So if somebody comes through this year, you know, maybe on the same vacation, they may see that and just think, oh, I remember seeing that car, you know, there and seeing somebody there. Somebody had to see something.
Investigators are analyzing a car that could be the big break in this case. The car used to belong to the grandmother of Brooks Houck. Those results are expected back within the next month and a half. Now, a prayer service for Rogers will be held Tuesday night at 8 at St. Thomas Church in Bardstown. Members of Rogers' family, including her children, plan to be there. At the live desk, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. A judge has thrown out the lawsuit Governor Matt Bevin's administration filed against a Planned Parenthood clinic in Louisville. The judge ruled that Planned Parenthood had received approval to perform abortions at a new facility under Governor Steve Beshear's administration last year, and the judge said the clinic was not violating any laws. The lawsuit accused the clinic of illegally performing abortions, and it asked for nearly $700,000 in fines. The state could appeal the ruling. The woman convicted of trying to extort money from University of Louisville basketball coach Rick Pitino is making another effort to get out of prison early. Karen Seifer filed a motion with a federal appeals court claiming her sentence is illegal because of ineffective counsel. The U.S. Attorney's Office has asked the appeals court to deny Seifer's request. She's serving a 7-year sentence and is expected to be released from prison next July.
Renovations are underway at the old Fayette County Courthouse. In May, the city announced plans to renovate the building, turning it into a multi-use facility. The old courthouse, which was built in 1898, will be used for a restaurant, office space, and a Lexington Visitor Center. The $30 million project includes turning the top floor of the building into an event space.
It's going to give most of our residents a first-time view of this building, and the renovation is really going to keep a lot of the historic features but have modern touches as well.
About $8 million of the renovation is coming from state and federal historic preservation tax credits. The project is set to be completed in the spring of 2018.
A man has died after his car crashed on a Wayne County road. The crash happened on Highway 92 east of Monticello. The Wayne County coroner says Lawrence Haynes of Monticello lost control of his car, ran off the road and hit a tree. Investigators say Haynes later died at the hospital. Investigators are still trying to figure out what led to that crash. And police say an argument led to a shooting in Knott County. It happened near Pippa Passes yesterday afternoon. State police say James Pratt was shot in the chest. He was airlifted to the hospital, and police say they've arrested Brandy Sloan, charging her with possession of a handgun by a felon. They say more charges are pending against her.
Dispatchers in Whitley County say they've received many calls about bear sightings during the month of June. Now, most of the calls were from the Whippoorwill Road area in northern Whitley County. All of the calls were transferred to state police, who contacted Kentucky Fish and Wildlife. Here's one of those 911 calls.
There is a bear just climbed the tree right in front. This is not a tale. This is real. There was a bear in my yard.
Police say most times bears are just after food and should not be aggressive, but they say if you see a bear, do not approach it. You can hear all of those calls on our website, WKYT.com.
This morning, a central Kentucky bridge is shut down. State transportation leaders say bridge inspectors looked at the Weisenberger Mill Bridge and determined it's not safe for traffic. That bridge crosses South Elkhorn Creek between Scott and Woodford counties. Inspectors say part of the truss on that bridge has deteriorated. So if you're driving around in that area, state leaders say you can take Browns Mill Road or US 62 as alternate routes.
Nicholasville police plan to keep a close eye on drivers along US 27 this holiday weekend. They say they'll be focusing on people running red lights. They say a stretch of US 27 between Brannon Crossing and the Nicholasville bypass has seen a string of crashes, some of them deadly. So police want to make sure it's safe.
I'm hoping that as people see us out, that they don't run the lights, and so we don't have to write tickets, because our goal is not necessarily to write tickets, but to make drivers more aware of their surroundings in these situations.
Yeah, so please just use caution and stay safe on the roadways while enjoying this holiday weekend.
Well, like every year, this holiday weekend is full of activities.
Yeah, there's several things going on in Lexington over the next few days. Tomorrow, the annual Patriotic Music Concert gets going at Transylvania University. There will be the Lexington Philharmonic, who will perform a free concert on the Morrison Lawn starting at 8 o'clock.
And the big attractions are on Monday. The day will start, of course, with the Bluegrass 10,000 at 7:30 in the morning. If you're going to be downtown, keep in mind that some streets will be closed for that race. The 4th of July Street Festival starts at 9 and runs through 6 o'clock. The parade happens at 2. Then Lexington will drop the mic on the 4th of July weekend with the fireworks starting at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and this weekend you'll be able to celebrate the 4th of July during Lakeside Live. It's at Lexington Green. The Arc Band will perform tonight between 6 and 9. And an Independence Day celebration will be held tomorrow night at 7:30. The Lexington Singers will perform a concert called I Love My Country. And the new fountain at Lexington Green will dance to red, white, and blue lights. And, of course, patriotic music. Should be pretty.
Yeah, a lot going on. 7:08 now on your Saturday morning, and there's still plenty ahead here on WKYT this morning.
Yeah, we're taking a look at 3 new movies swinging into theaters this weekend, including a remake of a classic. That's coming up on WKYT this morning.
And Woodstock was all about the music, but Wolfstock is all about the mutts. We're taking a look at this year's festival after Mike's forecast.
And it looks like active weather is well on its way, and it could put a damper on any outdoor plans you might have for the 4th. Coming up, I'll take you hour by hour and show you when the rain arrives.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Mike Linden.
Active weather is well on its way for the 4th of July holiday weekend, and as a whole, things are looking to be quite active. But for today, Saturday, well, it might be the best day of the bunch. As you can see on the First Alert Defender radar network, there's really not much going on right now, as things are going to stay quiet through most of the day today. If we take a wider look, though, at what's on its way, a lot of active weather. And we just look to our west, and you can see heavy rain and flash flood warnings already in effect for the Wichita, Kansas area. But the big story is we have this mild air coming in from the north. That's helping keep things cool this morning in Kentucky. But we have that warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. as those two air masses interact along this front, we get a whole lot of messy weather. As that continues to push eastward, we're talking about the threat of flash flooding in Kentucky. The most likely period looks to be Sunday evening and into the 4th on Monday. We're talking a lot of rain in a 24-hour span, not even 24 hours, hence that flash flooding. For your day today, though, if you plan on being outside or you have any weekend plans here early in the weekend, this is going to be the best day of the bunch. The low 80s and even the upper 70s, feeling like the upper 70s through most of the day. Mostly cloudy, maybe not the prettiest Saturday for you, but as far as active weather goes, we're mainly looking toward the south and southeast as the two most likely spots to get in on some scattered showers. Check this out. This is 1 o'clock this afternoon on your hour-by-hour forecast. We're looking at spots like Corbin, Breathitt County, Jackson, pushing eastward toward the southeastern mountains. That will pretty much be the only zone in Kentucky getting in on a few scattered showers. And even then, they're not going to stick around for very long. Moving into Sunday morning, you'll really want to key in on this area here, northern Kentucky, north of I-64. And it's at that spot that we're looking at the greatest threat of the flash flooding. Because as we get into our afternoon, notice this is 7 o'clock, so still later in the day on Sunday, some scattered storms beginning to pop up, and then things begin to fill out and become a little more widespread as we head into the evening hours. Just look at this pretty well-organized line here from Boyle County through Fayette, Anderson, Woodford counties, and northeastward right up and into Ohio. This active weather pattern is going to stick with us overnight Sunday and into Monday. Notice how through all that time, the rain has yet to let up. And then even into Sunday, Monday rather, we're tracking additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms. We're talking about a lot of rain in a very short period of time here, but for Sunday evening, the widespread threat will mostly be northern Kentucky. But as we get into Monday, the 4th of July, almost all of the state is under slight risk for severe weather. That's right, some of these storms could become strong to potentially even severe. But the major players out of this are going to be the heavy rain and the flash flood threat. That's especially so late Sunday into the holiday on Monday. So if you have any plans for the 4th of July to spend time outside, well, you might want to have a plan B just in case. By next week, though, we're right back to feeling like the summer as temperatures surge behind the active weather and work their way back into the mid to low 90s. And that 92 next Friday, that might be underdoing it a little bit. It's not out of the question that we could hit 95 by next weekend. That's the temperature, let alone what it will feel like. So
yeah, heat index even.
Big time. So got to take these cooler temperatures while we can get it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. So Beverly Hills has gone to the dogs, but of course in true LA fashion, right?
Yeah, welcome to Wolfstock 90210. Each year, about 300 dogs dressed to the nines. You can see that one there with their glasses. More than 5,000 dog lovers as well come out to join the fun.
Oh, look at those tutus.
Oh, man, that's fashionable. The Beverly Hills sponsors the event, and they say the most important part of the day is the adoption part, but maybe the cutest part is the doggy wedding booth.
Aww.
A dozen canine couples tied the knot at this year's Wolfstock. Wolfstock festivals also happen in other parts of the U.S., in Canada, and in the U.K. Not sure if we have any here in Kentucky. We'll have to find out. A little dancing dog going on.
Dogs saying their I do's.
Yeah, I can't
Who
beat
would have
that.
thought?
For sure. It is 7:16 on your Saturday morning.
WKYT This Morning just returns.
Steven Spielberg is at it again. He recreates the
I'll get it
story
out.
Big Friendly Giant on the big screen. We've got a preview coming up. Welcome back to WKYT This Morning, 7:18 now on your Saturday. And here's a look at some of your top Hollywood headlines.
My name's Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna wreck it! 30 years.
A lot of people are excited about this one. Get ready for more wreckage. Disney is prepping a sequel to Wreck-It Ralph. Voice stars John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman are set to return from the 2012 original about the villain of an 8-bit video game who he just tries being a bad guy. Look for Wreck-It Ralph 2 in March of 2018.
And a trio of new movies are arriving just in time for the July 4th weekend. But will any create more fireworks than the reigning champ Finding Dory, do you think?
I doubt it. David Daniel looks at what's in store for the weekend box office.
You are Tarzan. Legend of Tarzan swings into theaters with a big budget but less than glowing reviews. Analysts don't expect the new take on the classic tale to top Finding Dory, but it could be the top new movie, grossing $30 to $35 million over 4 days. Not a lot considering the film's $180 million budget.
Oh my.
The BFG, or Big Friendly Giant, is directed by Steven Spielberg based on a classic Roald Dahl story. But despite that pedigree and strong reviews, box office watchers don't expect more than about $30 million for the family film's debut.
We're going to use this year's purge to do something about that, Senator.
The Purge franchise gets political with The Purge Election Year. The third film in the action horror franchise about an annual night of lawlessness should be the weekend's big winner profit-wise. It's projected to make $25 million or more this weekend, and making it cost just $10 million. Now that's prudent fiscal policy. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, 7:20 now on your Saturday morning. There's still more to come.
Yeah, when we come back, we'll show you some sports.
On the way next, we say goodbye to the lovable and controversial and great defensive coordinator, Buddy Ryan. He was laid to rest yesterday. Also, the NBA is in the middle of free agency, and one guy you've never heard of probably gets the richest deal ever. That and A.J. Reed gets his first hit. It's on the way.
And we're looking at what looks to be a good start to the holiday weekend right now. But things are going to change, and quickly. I'll show you what's well on the way coming up. The holiday weekend is here, and if you plan on being outside at any point this weekend, well, you might want to get outside while you can, because it looks like today will be the best day to spend time outside. On the Defender Radar Network, sweeping the skies this morning, but mild air is dominating the bluegrass, keeping temperatures a little bit behind the 8 ball, and also keeping the skies relatively clear for now. We will be looking at that cloud cover working its way back into the bluegrass as we get into our afternoon. But as we get into Sunday evening and Monday, the active weather to our west arrives, and with it, heavy rain and potential flash flooding. That is certainly something that we are going to keep our eye on here moving forward, because as we close out the weekend and head into the 4th of July on Monday, well, that has the potential to be the messiest day of the bunch. But again, today, Saturday, looking like the best day. The lower 80s for daytime highs, mostly cloudy, maybe not the prettiest, but it looks like the active weather will hold off. Overall, this is the best day of the bunch in the lower 80s. Sunday evening and into Monday, couldn't hurt to have a backup plan ready to go just in case. Brian Milam is back in next with sports.
He was the head coach of the Cardinals and the Eagles, but was best known as the defensive coordinator for the mighty Chicago Bears of 1985. Yesterday, Buddy Ryan laid to rest in Lawrenceburg. Ryan and the Bears' 46 defense helping win the 1986 Super Bowl 20, under head coach Mike Ditka, who was at the funeral yesterday. Several of Ryan's former players, including 5 who are now Hall of Famers, were in Lawrenceburg. They spoke from the heart about how much Buddy meant to them.
Developmental toughness in his players. He held your feet to the fire, but at the same time, he cared about you beyond just the football field. He was genuinely concerned with what was going on in your life and wanted to know that things were going well with your life.
Buddy Ryan was a very complex person. He was rough on the outside and very sentimental on the inside. You had to earn his trust, but in just talking to the different players, it's amazing, once you earned his trust, then he trusted you.
Now to the NBA, Mike Conley and the Memphis Grizzlies have reportedly agreed to a $153 million deal over 5 years. That's the biggest contract in NBA history. Now listen to this. Conley, a 9-year veteran out of Ohio State, he's never even been an all-star. He's a middle-of-the-range point guard in some people's estimation. Memphis made him the 4th overall pick in 2007. That's amazing. Recent UK grad Leah Nugent is headed to Rio to represent Jamaica in the Olympics. Nugent qualifying by placing 2nd in the women's 400-meter hurdles at the Jamaica Olympic Trials. She was a bronze medalist at the SEC Championships and at the NCAA. And finally, in Houston last night, former Wildcat star A.J. Reed.
gets that elusive first hit as a Major League Baseball player. A solid single to right field in the 5th inning against the White Sox. Miguel Gonzalez. It took Reed 16 at-bats to get his first hit. Have no doubt there will be many, many more on the horizon for the former National Player of the Year. That is a look at sports. Enjoy your Independence Day weekend.